Hello, everyone. I'm Bo from Brutal Commentary, and today I'm going to be breaking down our co-main event for UFC 320 and the first title fight I'll be covering on this channel. So I'm really pumped to talk about it. In this one, we have the bantamweight title is on the line as the champion Merab Dvalishvili takes on Cory Sandhagen. Merab is 20-4 in his overall MMA career, 5-0 in his last five fights. Totally, though, he's riding a 13-fight win streak. Meanwhile, Sandhagen is 18-5 as a professional, 4-3 in his last five fights. Looking at, actually, not even just that, looking at this fight, oh my god, I'm so excited. These two are so wild, although different types of wildness. I mean, Merab's pressure and cardio, you know the story. He's got the greatest cardio seemingly ever in this company's history, and his pressure is just insane from shooting, what? Oh, yeah, 49 takedowns and throwing over 400 strikes in 25 minutes. That's unheard of. He's just a whirlwind. While Sandhagen is more of a surgeon, and he does need space to work, but once he gets going, the volume, the output, the ability to mix up everything, it is so tough to get through. Now, looking at their last five opponents for Merab, he dominates Petr Yan, he dominates Henry Cejudo, he dominates Sean O'Malley. He has a really close fight, but one where I really think his stock went up when he beat Umar Nurmagomedov at UFC 311. And then most recently this June at UFC 316, he submits Sean O'Malley with a north-south choke of all things. Meanwhile, looking at Cory's last five, he was on a really good three-fight win streak where he just looked like the better guy, more or less. Now, he had a close fight with Song Yudong up until the doctor stoppage, but that was a beautiful elbow to cause the cut from Sandhagen. Then he dominates Marlon Chito Vera. Don't even pay attention that it says split decision. It's not. Then he literally beats Rob Font with one arm. Or technically tore tricep, but you get my point. Then last August he loses to Umar Nurmagomedov in a fight where he just seemed to be behind the eight ball and never really put his foot on the gas, unfortunately. But then he came into more or less prime form, if you will, this May when he dominated Deiveson Figueiredo en route to a second round knee injury. But in that fight, he showed another wrinkle to the game in an ever evolving game that is Sandhagen's. He showed a presence of mind to be more damaging, more dangerous, and more calculated. Now, you think of Sandhagen's early UFC career. He started out as pretty much a whirlwind of violence. He could do everything at a high level. His striking was super fluid. It was so technically beautiful to watch. And his submission game was nothing to scoff at. Neither was his submission defense for a certain point. And he just looked like such a great product, and just there would be flashes of brilliance where it looked like that man's going to fight for a world title. And he was doing it when he started beating the likes of John Lineker and Rafael Assunção. Then eventually he gets a number one contenders fights against Sterling, gets choked out in a round. But you see that's a fight where he really evolved and found out what that next level really means. You saw in his last two performances when he wheel kicked Marlon Moraes' head and kneed Frankie Edgar's face off. Then he fights TJ Dillashaw in a fight I thought he won, but it didn't go his way. And then he fought Jan to the limit. Now it was a 49-46 fight, but it was a competitive 49-46 for sure. And then that's when this current fight started after the Jan fight. Though again, it showed Sandhagen can fight with the best of them. He may not win all the time, but he is so competitive with them. Meanwhile, for Merab, be honest with you, I have no idea what the fuck happened after the loss with Ricky Simone, where he technically got choked unconscious at the end of the fight, but not really. But it was a weird ruling in a fight where you could say he should have won the decision. But either way, after that, which was, I think it was 2018, it just became off to the races into this 13-fight win streak where he started beating names like Cody Stamann and John Dodson, and then eventually TKO's Marlon Moraes. But really it all started when he beat Jose Aldo at UFC 278. Boring fight, absolutely, not disagreeing. But that's when it started to dawn on people, I suppose. Or, I mean, people hated how he fought Aldo just pressing him against the cage. But it's because Aldo's a legend. You hate when your legends are put into a boring fight by an opponent who doesn't want to fight and get risk of getting hurt, which, I agree that you want to see excitement, but I'm not going to act like, okay, the win's a win at the end of the day. And that is important for a fighter's career. But then he turned it up to fucking 11 when he when he bullied Piotr Yan in that fight. It still gives me chills what he did to one of the most dangerous bantamweights on the roster. Then he picks up Henry Cejudo like he's a doll and just throws him Mark Zuckerberg, or dominates Sean O'Malley, and then, like I said, the rest is history. I mean, this year alone, he beat Umar Nurmagomedov, and really showed how fun he is, from just the gamesmanship, the taunting, and how he rises to the occasion as a champion. And then he seemingly is just getting better, as in the O'Malley fight, where O'Malley, I thought anyway, was showing some better takedown defense. Merab showed better striking, and then a new level of danger to his game, where originally it was just, he's going to tire you out, you're going to wilt, and you're going to look like you're on death's door, thinking, why did I sign the contract? And eventually, but now he can submit you, and he's got a crushing squeeze to go with it. You rarely see a north-south choke in MMA. Merab pulled it off, so that is a tough guy to beat. He really lives up to his nickname, the Machine. He really is. Because I've never seen a human being not get tired in a combat sport like him, especially one as taxing as MMA. Now, thinking of the overall technical aspect of this fight, the best way I would say to break it down is, Sandhagen, and especially in like recent interviews, has said like he wants to try and out MMA Merab, which even goes to far as trying to shoot takedowns on Merab. Now Merab's proven, though, for all these takedowns he's shot, like he's like 4 takedowns short of reaching 100, which is going to increase the record he set at most takedowns in a UFC history. He's not actually like the best wrestler per se. He's strong. He's got good techniques. He's got good single legs. And he's very good at, once his opponents are by the fence, he's very good with a series of headlocks and Turks and then trips. But you notice a lot of his opponents are able to get back up because he doesn't really have good control. But it doesn't matter. He's not worried about expending his energy trying to take you down or throwing these strikes. Because his striking has improved for sure, especially in the boxing category. He's always had some spinning attacks, but it's mostly the boxing that has definitely improved. He's constantly just bouncing, then lunges in with the 1-2. But again, it doesn't matter what energy he uses, because he knows he's going to go to 11, you're going to go to 11, but unlike him, that 11 is going to go down to 10, to 9, to 8, to 7, etc. until eventually, by the end of the fight, you're down to less than 5%. It doesn't matter. No matter what he does, it doesn't matter in terms of using up cardio, because he's got plenty of it to spare. It's truly like he's been built with a third lung. Now, that being said, Sandhagen does have a really good gas tank. I know that doesn't mean much in a Merab fight, where, all these fighters, O'Malley, Umar, Yan, Cejudo, they've all had good cardio, but he tires them all out. But I will, like I said, in Sandhagen's case, he really does have good cardio. He's shown it. He's been in 5-round fights for, how long has it been? I just realized he's been in like 5 straight 5-round fights, or even more than that. I take it back, since the TJ Dillashaw fight to the Figueiredo fight, it's only been 5-round fights, and most of those fights have gone the distance. And now the pace in which those fights have been set in, it varies. Now, I do know the Song Yudong fight ended after the 4th round, and the Figueiredo fight ended in the 2nd. But most of the time, he's fighting to the decision. It's not that he doesn't have good power necessarily. It's just he's more volume and cumulative damage. He doesn't have the one-shot power. That being said, he has techniques that can end the fight in one shot. I mean, Frankie Edgar knee. That's all I really need to say when it comes to that. Or the Marlon Moraes spinning heel kick. He has techniques that can end the fight in one shot. but in overall like shot for shot power, he doesn't really have that type of. He doesn't have like say Petr Yan or Song Yudong levels of power. That's not really him, but he's very good at attacking from all angles. Good linear movement, good back and forth. He moves so much. Now he's changed that a bit, especially in the Figueiredo fight where he started to plant his feet and really look to damage his opponent. That's one of the most interesting aspects in this fight for me. It's Sandhagen has now kind of fought with a new level of threatening danger that he plans to put in. And I think that's really going to help with Merab because I think he said in interviews too, he can't win the decision. There's just no way. In a 5-round fight, if it goes all 5 rounds, Merab's going to win. You saw it especially with the Umar fight where Umar was up 2 rounds. He won the first 2. And then Merab had to reel the fight back in and win the next 3. And he did that. So winning a decision is not an option for Sandhagen. And he knows it. He's going to have to win the fight via finish. Can he do it? That's a tough task to call. Now, we've seen Merab hurt on a couple of occasions. Most specifically, Marlon Moraes was very close to finishing him, and Henry Cejudo rocked him. But Merab has really good recoverability. I don't know, I wouldn't call him necessarily like crazy durable. He can take some shots, absolutely. But he has been hurt before, and he's been close to being put unconscious. So I can't see a world where Sandhagen, like, say, times a flying knee or something like that and knocks out Merab. It's not out of the realm of possibility. That's one of the biggest things that is so great about this sport. It's like, truly anything can happen at the end of the day. Sure, the odds, like, for example, Merab is a 4-1 favorite, like, minus 140. Or, sorry, minus 440. By that definition, he should win by pretty dominant fashion. But at the same time, like Holly Holm versus Ronda Rousey or Strickland versus Adesanya, it's like there are upsets like these that happen all the time. It's like not out of the realm of possibility that Sandhagen can win. Problem is, unless someone actually does that and like knocks Merab out cold and actually finally beats him, it's so hard to pick against him. It really is so hard to pick against him. He just fights with such an elevated game. It's such an unconventional game because we never seen anybody be able to waste energy on failing so many takedowns, succeeding with almost as many, and then throwing as many strikes as he has, and then just look fresh and ready to go the very next round. Never seen anybody like it. Now, there have been others close to that, like, say, Colby Covington or Max Holloway. But even then, like, Covington's not throwing out this many takedowns. Holloway is... Now, granted, Holloway could maybe throw around that many of strikes, but still, it's just crazy to think a fighter like Merab exists where he's elevated the game of using cardio and pace as a weapon. I mean, shoot, he has the, fourth highest win streak in MMA overall, and right now is one of the longest winning fighters of the active roster besides, like, Islam. That's just so insane to think of. And it's like, Sandhagen is not a bullshit opponent. Sandhagen is a very good fighter, and he's had so many times, he's looked like so many times he could be a world champion. And he has the skills to do it. Because for me, I think Sandhagen is one of the best fighters, not only just the best fighters in bantamweight, I think one of the best UFC fighters right now. Because I feel like he embodies what it means to be a mixed martial artist. He started his UFC journey with a certain set of skills. And as you see him progress, you see how much he's shored up his defenses, shored up his weaknesses, and try and be the best mixed martial artist you can be. Because when he fought Sterling, he got dominated in the wrestling and grappling. Nowadays, he's not getting bullied on the ground by any of these guys. Not even, you can say what you want about his fight with Umar, where he got outstruck and all that, sure. But did he or did he not put in such stellar takedown defense and great grappling defense where Umar really didn't get much of it going? That's what I mean. He's evolved his game so much throughout the years. Now he's 33. He's in his prime. And this is his first and maybe his only opportunity to fight for gold. Because bantamweight is such a shark tank, man. Fighter it's so easy for these guys to be on the path to a title, and then one setback derails it all. Overall, though, with what I think of, it's hard to not pick Merab, and I think he's gonna win decision. I don't believe him when he goes. He's just gonna strike with Sandhagen. I don't believe that. I think he's really just doing that to talk and sell a fight. He's going to do what he always does. He's going to pressure, go for takedowns. Even if the takedowns fail, he's going to be able to press Sandhagen against the fence and just use his series of torques, headlocks, clinching, trips, chain wrestling, just all this stuff to make Sandhagen work and make Sandhagen tired. Now, there's some aspects of the grappling Sandhagen brings which most of Merab's opponents haven't. He has a great leg entanglement game. He's pretty good with using leg entanglements to like sweep and get to top position or get up. He's really good at those because he's been training with Ryan Hall. And I'm curious how Merab will actually deal with leg locks. Like I said, we've never seen him deal with that. So I'm very interested in that for sure. And there's always another aspect, like Merab's 34. He'll be 35 in January. So I guess the big question becomes like, how, like, will it all start falling off a cliff? I don't know. What I do know is right now the machine seems unstoppable. And as much as I love saying it, he's actually like one of my favorite fighters, at least in this division, maybe overall. And if he were to win, and I were to be wrong about this prediction, he wins, he becomes champion, I will not be upset in the slightest. In fact, I'll be quite happy. But sometimes you gotta look past your biases and pick who you believe will be the better fighter on this night. And I think it's going to be Merab. I'm going to pick him via decision. Again, though, I don't agree with these odds at all. Sandhagen's not a bullshit opponent. And I do see him like winning a round or two. Fuck. I honestly see this being a crazy fight. Because these two fight at such a high pace. It's just, out of the two guys who fight at a high pace, one of them's going to be fighting at that high pace much longer than the other guy. And that is Merab. So, once again, I'm going to pick Merab, and I think he's going to win a unanimous decision. Well, that being said, that's been my prediction for this co-main event. If you like the video, comment and subscribe. Let me know what you think of this fight overall. Is this your favorite fight on the card? Do you think Sandhagen can pull the upset? Or do you think Merab will continue his dominance in the bantamweight division? Note, if Merab wins, I'll have some things to say about him in my post-fight show. But right now, I'm going to say this, and you can disagree. Fair enough. But I do believe Merab is the bantamweight GOAT. I know there's Dominic Cruz, sure. But I don't think Dominic Cruz has fought the fighter or have beaten the same guys that Merab has. Now, don't get me wrong. He's got great wins. He beat Uriah Faber. He beat TJ Dillashaw. Even got some good wins past his prime against like Casey Kennedy and Pedro Munoz. But I think Merab is the best. But I think Merab is the best bantamweight. I really do. Not only just the win streak, but the fucking names he has on his resume. The list of champions. O'Malley, Cejudo, Jan, Aldo. That's 4 fucking champions, man. And he beat them all in dominant fashion. What else is there to say? Other than I really think he's the best. So if he wins tonight, I'll have more to say about that, but I just wanted to leave it out there to just kind of give my overall impression on Merab in general. But, with all that said, I have been Bo from Brutal Commentary. Thank you all for listening. Take care.